There are dozens of new TCG grading companies out there right now trying to fill a gap, and PSA is charging $100 a card on the low end. Let's talk about the flux that's happening in graded cards. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Gym Leaders Podcast, where we talk all things Pokemon TCG, because it's what we love, and it's just, we do it all the time anyway, so we might as well put it on video for you guys. I'm Travis with TCG Funhouse.
And I'm ASX with ASX TCG, ready to bring this spicy topic to you guys today.
And it is indeed spicy, and, when we were talking about what kind of episodes we wanted to do when we brought this one up, I was like, this one is probably going to cause quite a stir in the Pokemon community, and the Pokemon investment community, even regular sports cards, Yu-Gi-Oh, everything. This is a video that everybody can watch, and everybody can yell at us in the comments section if they agree or disagree with anything. Just be nice, guys, because we're here to bring positivity to the Pokemon community, and we're just trying to talk things out like civil gentlemen. Isn't that right?
Yeah, civil gentlemen.
Civil. I'm so civil. On occasions, right? But yeah, so TCG grading is in a weird spot that I have never seen it in really ever since I've enjoyed Pokemon cards for the past 3 years. And even when I was a kid where I didn't really know much about grading, but I knew a little bit. I know it wasn't like this, As you watch from a distance 10 years ago, 12 years ago, it was just it was $6, $7 to get a card graded, and you got all your cards graded that you wanted to get. If you wanted to encapsulate them, make them raise in value and protect them and all that stuff. But it's really turned into a money process at this point, to where a lot of people are using graded cards as a get rich quick scheme, honestly, to where it came very, very popular in 2020 and 2021 to buy a bunch of raw cards, send them off to get graded for $7, get them back 2-3 months later, and sell them for a 5x, 6x profit, and then do it all over again. It was one of the original things that people were taking advantage of in the Pokemon community and the sports card community to make some residual income and fund their hobby. But since then, during, the global pandemic and everything that's going on, it's really been turned up 1,000% to the point where PSA is charging ungodly prices to grade their cards. And we have about a dozen new grading services that have entered the realm. And I'm going to get ASX's opinion. I'm going to give you guys my opinion on the whole thing. But as we get started, what do you think about in general of today's topic, how we came up with it and all that stuff? Just share your point of view real quick.
Yeah. So, how we came up with it, grading is just it's a huge topic, within the trading card community, the sports card community, like you said, and I think it's just something that, hasn't been really talked about for a little bit of time here, just on YouTube from what I've seen. So I think with the way everything is now in the grading community, I think we just kind of talked about how it'd just be a really good time, to kind of bring things back up and take a look at it again. And like you said, it's been quite the trip, here with grading cards, just seeing them go from that $7 or so. Now we're looking at hundreds of dollars, to grade some of your cards, and
per card.
Per card,
crazy.
Exactly. Yeah,
crazy.
That's not for 50 cards or something. So it's definitely in a crazy kind of spot right now. But I think I'm going to surprise you guys here tonight with some of the things that I'm going to say, because I think it's actually kind of starting to head in the right direction.
Yeah, I remember I used to sit back and I used to, this was probably late 2019 when I first got back into the game, early 2020. I used to sit back with a nice little stack of cards, and I used to go, man, do I really want to send these out, spend $150 and get these, 12, 13 cards graded? And that includes shipping there, shipping back, and all that stuff. And most of the time I said no. Most of the time I was like, no, I don't want to do that. You know what? I'm just going to buy another booster box. I'm going to buy a couple more ETBs instead to open up on the channel and see if I can get some more hits. And like, you know, that's kind of the realm that I was in. And I think that's where most people are in terms of that. I think the people that predominantly use the grading services are people who are in it for the money aspect of it. I do know a lot of collectors that do the grading and stuff like that, but for the most part, it seems to me from the people that I know that it's the people who want to sell them and make some profits, which is okay, but I think that's very, very hard to do with the current prices. And if you guys go over to PSA.com and look at their pricing schedule, right now, they only have the $100 regular service open as the floor model. So it's going to cost you $100 to grade any card via PSA, who is the standard. They are the grading company standard. Some people would argue Beckett. Beckett is a very good grading company as well. I think they do a lot of sports cards more than they do Pokemon cards. I think PSA owns the Pokemon card market for the most part. But then they also have Express grading for $150, Super Express for $300, and in walkthrough service for $600. I can only think of maybe one card that's worth grading at a $600 walk-in price, and you're looking at probably base set Charizard, and I would even say you have to go shadowless or better for that pricing as a walk-in price. Like, would you grade anything at these prices that's modern?
Not with PSA, no.
Yes.
No, I would not.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about PSA specifically.
Yeah,
would you use PSA right now at $100 a card to grade anything modern, from Umbreon VMAX Alt Art to, you know, shiny Snorlax to whatever, right? Would you use it?
I'm going to say absolutely no. I'm not.
It's so tough, right? So
it's crazy that the prices are just, in my opinion, might not be the same for everybody, but I feel like these prices are way too high for what I'd be getting, you know, out of grading my modern cards right now.
I agree, and the fact that they're so far behind as well, like even if you do the $100, even if you do the $100 one, you're looking at most likely having to wait 60 to 90 days before you even get your cards back at $100 a card. That's insane. Yeah. I know they're working through stuff. I sent stuff value back in April, and they're only through 80. It says right here, 80% of their February submissions are completed. So I still have to wait through the rest of the February submissions, all of the March submissions, and then whenever I decided to send my card in April, I can't remember if it was early, mid, or late in the month, but I'm still looking at 2 to 3 to 4 months, over a year at that point, right around a 1 year marker of when I'm going to get my cards back, which is absolutely insane. And
that's crazy.
I did squeak those in right before they shut down value/bulk submissions altogether. But the reason I bring that up, and I want your thoughts on this too, is if they're so far behind on grading, how many of these cards are going to be flooding into the market and have been flooding into the market in the past couple of months and the months moving forward? Like, how many of these PSA cards from Evolving Skies, from Fusion Strike, from all of these other sets, think about the ones that were submitted in April, in May, in June, you know, Shining Fates cards, you know, Hidden Fates cards. How much is coming back on these PSA 10s? And the reason why I say that is because my last submission before the April one, I sent in, it was about 8 cards from Hidden Fates. They all came back 10s except for one. I'm very picky and I'm still PO'd. I think that last one should have been a 10 as well. I should break it and resend it in, and I bet you it'll come back at 10. But every card I sent an Umbreon. These are all Hidden Fates. Shiny Umbreon full art, shiny Sylveon full art, 2 shiny Mewtwo full arts, and then a couple of other ones. I think it was shiny Articuno, shiny Ho-Oh, the full arts and stuff like that. When I sent them all in, they were trending at around $300 and $350 if they came back as a PSA 10, $400 I think for the Umbreon shiny. They're all like $100 to $150 right now in PSA 10 over on eBay, which I was frustrated. I got my cards back and I was bummed, dude. Like, I thought I was going to be getting back Gym Mint 10 cards worth $300. I got them back. They're worth $150. I was like, bro, if y'all wouldn't have taken a year to grade my cards, I would have been able to have another $1,000 to put back into the Pokemon hobby. So instead now I just kept these cards because I think they're worth keeping at this point.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the mass influx that we're going to get in inventory in PSA graded cards? Now, again, we're just strictly talking PSA right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's tough, right? Because, I mean, like you've said, that mass influx is going to cause all these prices to go down. I'm hoping that a lot of the bulk that went through PSA was, maybe cards that really shouldn't have been graded in the first place.
Oh,
and,
that really hurt it.
Yeah, I think that honestly was probably the biggest thing and why we're where we're at right now with it. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to see because everybody got, into the hobby, excited about grading, saw how much money, you could, make pretty quickly off of graded cards. And I think they just went a little too crazy with it. And now we're at the point where we are now, what I think is going to happen is, all these cards that are coming through PSA right now are going to have a lot longer of a wait to get that price back, than they would had we not had this huge, upswing in grading and just interest in the hobby and things like that. So it's definitely hurt it. That's for sure. But I don't necessarily think it's going to be, too much of a long-term issue. I think over time, I think the cards are definitely going to, make a comeback.
I really hope so because I really do enjoy PSA slabs. I really do. There's nothing better when it comes to adding some Gem Mint 10s to your collection, right? And that being said, I get asked this question all the time. How do you feel about like PSA 9s or even like a PSA 8 and stuff like that? And I am so against buying PSA 9s, PSA 8s, and PSA 7s. Like even vintage, like in some cases, like I'm totally cool with it. Like base set Charizards, base set Blastoises, like maybe Crystal Lugias, right? Stuff like that.
Sure.
Those sort of things, I would probably be okay going down to like a PSA 7 on, because they're Grail cards, like anytime you're adding Grail cards, it's like, okay, cool, that's fine. But like in terms of picking up some of the cards I talk about in my top 5 videos, like would I grab a PSA 9, Jungle Eevee? No. I would just buy raw. I'd rather buy raw for a couple dollars than get a PSA 9 for $35, $40 at this point. It just doesn't make sense to me to spend that extra money on something is not perfect. Because one of the best things about buying near mint raw is people could send you 10s. Because either they don't know or they don't care and they don't want to send it and deal with the PSA services whatsoever. So the amount of times that I order near mint condition cards over on like TCG Player or even eBay in some cases, people send me Gem Mint 10 quality cards and I spent a quarter of the price. Are you familiar with Alpha Investments, the Magic the Gathering YouTuber?
Yes, I believe so. I've seen a couple of his videos.
So he's got a saying, and he catches flack for it sometimes, but he's got a saying, and he's doubled down on it ever since he's been making videos. People in the business don't buy graded cards. People in the business buy raw cards, grade them, and sell them to the people who are buying graded cards. It's how you do a business, right?
Yeah.
So in my opinion, and this is the next thing I want to ask you before we get into all the different types of grading companies out there. You have two options, right? I'm going to give you a perfect example right here. So over on eBay, if you look up sold listings, Shiny Charizard VMAX from Shining Fates. If you look up the last 3, Gem Mint 10 sold. PSA, Gem Mint 10, Shiny Charizard VMAX. It's not a GX. Come on, Travis.
GX VMAXs,
GX VMAXs, V-Star Rainbow Charizard leak. Did you see that?
I did. It's pretty awesome.
Insane. The fact that V-Stars can come in Rainbow is insane. That's a game changer.
I think it's going to be awesome.
That's going to be the chase even over the V-Alt, I think.
I think so.
Anyway, $500, $450, $499. So let's just say roughly $500, right? Roughly, it's $500 for a Gem Mint 10 Shiny Charizard VMAX, which is actually not bad. That card maintained a $1,000 price tag, over $800 price tag for a very, very long time, settling around $500, kind of anticipated. But we know TCG market price, near mint condition Shiny Charizard VMAX, raw, is $114. So my question to you, as somebody who's a collector, as somebody in the hobby, what do you deem, and I want people to answer this in the comment section as well down below, what do you deem the better value? Buying one Gem Mint 10 Shiny Charizard VMAX, or buying 4 raw, near mint condition Shiny Charizard VMAXs? 1 card Gem Mint 10, 4 cards near mint condition. You know you're at least getting near mint condition. There's a chance that one of these sellers might send you a Gem Mint 10 quality card, right? Yeah. Or I'm going to give you a third option because I'm just spicy like that. Are you going to buy 2 Shiny VMAX Raws and send them in to get graded at $100 a pop and hope you get a Gem Mint 10? So what do you think, as a hobbyist, as a collector, even as somebody who might be in the business, what do you think is the best option? What do you like to do?
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, those are all, some good options, but I think what I would go with personally would be the 4 Shiny Charizard VMAXs near mint. Because then I have 4 Shiny Charizard VMAXs near mint.
Right?
Like you said, you have the potential to, I mean, you could get 1 or 2 10s in that. Mm-hmm. But what I would do is I would get those 4, and I would personally hang on to them for a little bit of time here, until we can see the market kind of get regular again, prices come back down, and then I would look at taking a chance at getting them graded. But that's where I would go right now, just because I want that chance at, having more than just one, Gem Mint 10 Charizard. But that's where I would go. How about you? I'm interested in hearing what you would think too.
I would go the same route that you chose, for a couple reasons, and one that we're going to talk about here in a minute is I would buy 4 raw Charizard VMAXs, because that gives me 4 chances that somebody sends me a Gem Mint 10 quality Charizard VMAX. And the cool thing about like TCG Player is you can send it back and get your money back and return it. You can if it comes in and it's near mint condition, you can, or if it's lightly played instead of near mint, you send that sucker right back and you say, hey, this is no way near mint, this is lightly played. I'm going to send this back to you. I'll even pay to send it back. I might lose $3 on the transaction, but I'm not screwed out of my money. So that's something that TCG Player does well, and it's something that eBay does well too, believe it or not. The buyer is much more secure than the seller is.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of the things I hate about selling on eBay is if somebody opens up a case on you, you're screwed. You might as well just give them all their money back and say, keep your product, because you're not going to get your product back, and eBay is going to take the money back from you anyway. So, but yes, I would do the same thing as you. I would buy 4 near mint condition Shiny Charizard VMAXs, and I would love to know, anybody who's listening to this, if you're in the audios, if you're on Spotify or something like that, go to our socials and DM us and, comment on one of our things, come to YouTube, comment on the video, and tell me why you are buying that Gem Mint 10 at $500 instead of 4 raw cards, because I would love to know why you guys feel that. I would love to, so please do that. But the main reason why I would buy 4 is actually 2 reasons. One, PSA prices are going to come back down eventually. Once PSA starts hitting on all cylinders again, and they have all their employees back, and they have, more people grading cards, more buildings full of people grading cards and things like that, the prices will come back down. Do I ever think they're going to settle at $7 a card again? Absolutely not. They're never going to get that far down. Maybe 20, 30 years from now, if this is completely dead as a hobby. But in the near future, it is never going to happen. Could I see them getting back down to $12, $15 a card for bulk submissions that take 6 to 8 months to get back? Absolutely. I could absolutely see them doing that again. And the reason why I think they could do that again, so first, go back. that gives me 4 chances now to send in a Shiny Charizard VMAX at $12 to $15 a card to hope I can get a 10, doubling down, quadrupling down, potentially getting Gem Mint 10s. And the second reason is because what we're going to talk about now, and that's all these new grading companies that have popped up, right? So CGC has been around for a while, but they are very, very heavy in the grading card game right now. There are tons of other grading companies that have popped up. There's DGS, Diamond Grading Services. There's AGS that has the Robo Grading. There's just so many, I can't even list them all, but there's easily like 12 to 15 new companies that have said, hey, PSA is not taking submissions. We are going to take your submissions. I know even Pokemon YouTubers and Pokemon content creators that have created their own. The Cardonomist has his own grading service. A-Drive has his own grading service now. All these content creators saw this gap and was like, I'm going to fill that gap. Now, I think that's a big concern, and we're going to talk about that, but that also means if I get those 4 Charizard VMAXs, I can potentially use one of these other grading services at $10 a card, $15 a card, or $20 a card to see if I can get some 10s or 9s and still end up with graded Charizards at the end of the day. Are they going to carry the value of the PSA? No. PSA cards and BGS, Beckett cards, they're always going to carry more value than these other graded companies. Maybe not always, but right now, in the near future, they are going to carry more value. But that still gives me 4 opportunities to get graded Shiny Charizard VMAXs, which is huge to me. So let me ask you this, ASX. What of these new graded card companies that have entered the spotlight here, per se, are you excited about? Which ones are you using? Are you going to use? Are you interested in? Which ones do you think have the clout to maintain here in the future?
Yeah, so what I got really interested in, and it's definitely a lot more recent, is actually the Robo Grading, which might be a little controversial with some of you out there because I know a lot of people really like Beckett and really like the PSA graded cards. But I really think that Robo Grading is what we're going to be looking at here in the future. Primarily because the biggest reason is that I feel like it's going to be cheaper. I mean, it already is cheaper than what you can get at PSA. Some of these sites like AGS, there was another one, HGA, both do Robo Grading, and their prices are a fraction of what PSA is doing right now. So I think that is a big player for the Robo Grading. Also, it's all AI and computer based, right? So you're basically your card goes into like a scanner, and then the computer takes a look at it, right? It's not some PSA grader that's been there for a whole 8-hour shift, and you're the last stack of cards that he's going through, and he's just upset because he's not at home eating dinner yet.
His girlfriend just broke up with him.
Right. He's just not having a great day.
His Mountain Dew just exploded in his face because he dropped it on the floor.
All over your Gem Mint 10 Charizard too. So yeah, there's so many human factors that come into play when it comes to grading, and I know a lot of you guys have seen it out there just looking at other graded card videos and things like that, where you get a card back and it comes back a 10, and it's clearly like off center, and then you get a card that looks absolutely perfect and you got a 9 on it. That
my shiny Mewtwo.
Exactly. That's easily
Perfection.
because of just human error or opinion at that time, in the robots, the scanners, they absolutely don't care. They're having a great day doing their grading exactly how they're going to do it every single time, and they're going to come back and do it again tomorrow. I really think that this Robo Grading,
where are they going?
Even
you said they're going to come back and do it again tomorrow. Where are those machines going at night?
Back to their robo houses with their robo wives and their robo kids. They got a life too. And they're going to come back tomorrow. So,
well, if those robots ever become self-aware, then we're right back to where we started. They're mad at you, and now they're giving you bad grades on purpose.
That's when the AI just completely takes over. That's what's going to happen. The AI is going to start taking over in the graded card arena here.
That's where it happens.
We're just getting terrible grades.
That's where Terminator happens. Terminator happens in the AGS freaking building.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. If that happens, I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys at that point. But But yeah, overall, I just really
Sell
think
sell
that
your cards.
that is a very good point.
Can't take them with you.
But I really think that we are going to be moving forward here, with robo grading, and I think it's really going to take off, as more and more people, test it out and really see how it works out and start to get their grades back, and start to see just how consistent the grades they are getting back. I think you're going to see more people kind of, go over to that boat and really rely on that more, as well, because, I think I mentioned this, but turnaround times are way, way faster. I think I mentioned prices, but turnaround times are also way better. We're looking at anywhere from, 1 month to a month and a half, maybe, for some of these robo grading services. And, sometimes even sooner, depending on how much you want to pay. But I mean, I mentioned earlier, it's just a fraction of the price. I mean, we're talking, $15, $20 a card, to get graded versus $100 a card. And you might get that back in 6 months or whatever. So, I truly think this is the way that we are going to be moving in the future. And to be honest with you, I could even see, maybe PSA or Beckett kind of getting into this space in the future as well. I don't think it's going to be right away here. I think they are very, going to be very,
Set in their
strong
ways a
on the
little
fact
while
that
here.
exactly. They've been around for a while, like over 20 years. They have, the way they've been doing things, like you said, they're going to be stuck in their ways a little bit. But I think once this robo grading really takes off, like I think it's going to, I think you're going to see them hop on the train as well. And at that point, I really think we could see some drastic changes in the pricing.
So I'll tell you what I think, and I'm gonna give you my personal opinion here. And I know I mentioned it with my shiny Charizards, but
Yeah.
I am afraid to use any of these new grading services. I would not use any of these new grading services yet. They're all too new. We don't know if they're going to be around in 6 months, 6 years, 60 years. Are they still going to be here? I have no clue. You know what I'm saying? So all these new companies like AGS, who AGS to me, I think has the biggest upside. I think with their technology, it makes them different and it makes them stand out. Now, the problem with that is, I'm with you. I think PSA is going to adopt robo grading eventually. It might take a couple of years, but I think they already have something in the works. They may have already even, like, I think for some reason I want to try to say I remember a conversation from like one of the executives from PSA who mentioned something about auto grading and robo grading in the future. And I think it was a leak. I don't think it was supposed to come out yet. He did like an interview or something, and I guess they recorded them and they weren't supposed to. Whatever. If you guys remember that, let me know. And my thing is, with PSA and Beckett, and even for the most part, CGC have such a stranglehold on the grading, specifically for TCGs. I don't see any room for these other companies. And in my opinion, I don't see the value in getting your card graded by a company that's not going to be around in 6 years. So if I use AGS to grade 300 cards at $20 a pop, by the way, and that's not cheap. $20 a pop is not cheap. That is an expensive price for a brand new company with no track record. They should have done $10 a card to start out, lowered their profit margins. I don't know what happens behind the scenes. Maybe they couldn't have made a profit at $10 and they had to go $20. I'm not sure.
Sure.
But considering some of the other stuff that you would think they're saving on by doing robo grading, they should have went with $10 a card, in my opinion. Logistically, I don't know. I'm not there with the stat sheet and with the books doing it. But $20 seems too much for me. Let's say I get 300 cards graded from them at $20 a pop. That's a crap ton of money. And let's say in 5 years, they're a defunct company. And they're out of money, and they close their doors. And then now I have 300 cards that I spent thousands of dollars grading that aren't worth the salt that holds them, What if they go through a scandal? What if there's a scandal with their algorithm in 2-3 years? Who knows? We don't know anything about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, and you can do that for any of these companies, Diamond Grading, A-Drive's company, Randolph Pokemon has a company in the UK. All these things that are going on, these could just be again, get rich quick schemes. I see a gap, I'm going to fill the gap. Oh crap, 12 months later, there's no gap because PSA has caught up, BGS has caught up, and CGC has filled the gap, you know? And now all these other companies who had all these pipe dreams are closing their doors because there's no longer a market when there was a market for all of 12 to 14 months. Hopefully, one or two of these companies will stick around. At best, I think one or two of these companies are going to stick around. And I think AGS is going to be dead in the water as soon as PSA says, hey guys, we're doing Robo Grading 2. As soon as PSA says we're doing Robo Grading 2, AGS is going to go, oh shit. Why are people going to send their stuff to us? I'm going to sue PSA for stealing my idea and all this other stuff. And it's going to be drama laden and it's going to be crazy. But if you want my personal opinion on graded cards right now, and this is going to be kind of controversial right here. I'm not getting any of my cards graded by these new companies. I'm not getting any of my cards graded by PSA right now at $100 a pop. I'm not getting any of my cards graded right now by CGC because I'm watching hundreds of cards a day revealed on YouTube alone about graded card returns from CGC. And they hate to give out 10s. And you know how I feel about grade 9s, grade 9.5s. Dude, don't give me a 9.5. I will be so pissed. You give me a 9.5 instead of a 10 over XYZ because your little eye was crooked that day. But anyway, I'm getting heated now. See, I'm up in my chair. I'm like, let's go, man.
That's all about, though.
But I am 100% staying away from everything graded right now. And I'm definitely not buying graded cards. I'm not buying PSA 10s at these inflated prices because now that people are spending $100 of cards to get graded, they want to recoup their money and they're overcharging for cards that aren't worth that at the end of the day. And the fact that we could be looking at, for all we know, there's another 8,000 Shiny Charizard VMAXs waiting to be graded over in PSA right now that could all get Gem Mint 10s, which is going to destroy the value of that card. We have no clue. There's so much right now that's up in the air that we don't know about the graded marketplace, where prices are going to land, when is PSA going to be back, and I'm sure as heck not sending anything in for $100.
Right. Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't blame you there.
No way in heck.
No.
You know, I just pulled, what did I just pull? I don't know. I pulled a lot of stuff. But like the Umbreon, I got the shiny, or the Umbreon alternate art right here.
Beautiful card.
Am I gonna? It's worth $190 raw. Is it worth getting it graded for $100? I don't know. Maybe if I sell it as soon as I get it back. But how do I know if I don't get that thing back for 90 days that another 1,000 of those hit the market at Gem Mint 10 in those 90 days? And how many people are holding on to cards that they're gonna send in and that they're waiting for the prices to come down? Let's take a look at the Gengar alternate art. How many people are going to be sending in Gengar alternate arts the minute that prices come back down to $20 a pop? There's just too much. There's too much randomness going on right now. Too much volatility in the market, in the pricing, and all of this stuff. So if you ask me, my opinion is keep your cards ungraded, keep them protected, buy yourself some magnetic, Ultra Pro magnetics. Go use my link in the description. Go buy yourself some Titan Shield top loaders, some Titan Shield penny sleeves.
There you go.
Get 15% off using code Funhouse15, hashtag plug, shameless plug. And protect your own cards until all of this stuff settles down. Seriously. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna go on a little bit of a different route. And I'm gonna say
you're done. Get off the podcast.
Done. Kicked off. No, I'm gonna say, I think it is still okay to grade some of your cards. I'm not gonna say all of them. I'm not talking, sending in bulk 300 cards, like you were talking about. But
bro, I got this Appleton V. It's definitely a 10.
I'm not gonna tell you not to. I mean, you can do whatever you want to, but
that's a 9.5. Never mind.
Oh, 9. Yeah, no, don't send it then. Don't send it. It's not worth it. But what I will say, I do see where you're coming from, with some of these companies, being super, super new, not knowing where they're going to be in 5 years and stuff like that, but I probably would still consider sending in, some of my better cards. Some of the cards that I would want to get graded down the line with PSA, I wouldn't mind sending in, maybe anywhere from 10 to 30 cards or so, at a $20 price point, and getting those graded just so I have a better idea of what grade they could get, at least within a range, right? Because you're not going to go get a 10 at CGC, turn around and it's going to turn into a 10 at PSA. That's almost probably almost not ever going to happen all the time. But what I think you can do here, with some of these newer companies is go ahead, get some of the cards that you really like graded, that you do see, potentially having a lot more value in the future. And then once prices and that come down, with PSA, take a look at their crossover service. So PSA, we haven't mentioned it yet, but PSA does have a crossover service, basically where if you got a card graded, really by any other company, and it's in a slab, you can submit that to PSA, and basically you can even tell them like, the minimum grade that you would want. So if you sent in a CGC 10 Charizard and you don't want it to have anything less than a 10, you can tell them that. They'll take a look at it. If they determine that it's going to be graded, at a 10, they'll crack it out of the case that it's in, put it in a PSA case, slap that Gem Mint 10 on there, and you got a Gem Mint 10 Charizard. So that would be my plan for right now, especially if you're really into graded cards, you're really into keeping your stuff nice and protected. Yes, you definitely can go out there, and buy those hard cases you just showed, but I like my cases nice and closed, right? Those magnetic cases can pop open. I've had it pop open on one of my Charizards before.
Graded card the bags. What are they called?
Top loaders.
Yeah, no.
Top loaders.
God dang it! Now I gotta look it up. Yeah, but they're bigger. They're one-touch bags.
Oh yes.
One-touch resealable bags. One-touch resealable bags, right there. I love Titan Shield. I wish they made these. Titan Shield, if you're listening, make these magnetic cases. I don't know if there's a patent on them from Ultra Pro, but make these magnetic cases. They're phenomenal.
That would be awesome.
One-touch magnetic bags, one-touch cases. These are not popping open anywhere anytime soon. They're nice and secure, and my magnetic case is not going to get scratched or scuffed.
Right, but
and they fit in the ETB box perfectly. By the way,
like, it is kind of nice.
They look at that.
It looks nice when you got a whole ETB.
Gorgeous.
However, what your card doesn't have is a grade on there. So that's what I'm getting at with sending it into these these lower just
10.
Sharpie down there real quick. Gem Mint 10.
That's all they do at PSA anyway. 10.
Yep, 10.
9.
Snob.
10.
It's a 10.
I'm just kidding. There's more to it than that. But sometimes it feels like that's what they do.
Right. But yeah, just kind of spending the couple extra dollars, right? Because you're probably spending about double your money. If you're sending it in for about $20 versus doing what you're doing there and putting it in a hard case and that. But I think that extra $10 or so, really does go towards that grade that you're getting. Again, it's not necessarily going to be the exact same grade if you grade it an AGS and then you send it to PSA. It very well might not be the same.
That's one of the biggest problems too.
True.
And that's why Robo Grading needs to take over.
Yeah, no, much more consistency, much more accuracy, I think, with the Robo Grading. I think you're right on that. But, I think when it comes down to it, I think I personally would feel a little bit better knowing that, I got a couple 9s and 10s in terms of, my top cards that I really do want to take a look at seriously grading down the road. And then, down the road, take a look at that crossover service and see if it would be, something that would make sense at that point. But, I definitely think, you can take a look at some of these newer companies. Yes, be cautious with them. Don't send all your cards into them. Maybe do a test run, send 10 cards into them, see how it goes. But I'm kind of in the boat. We got to give them a chance, right? Otherwise, we'll never know how they work out.
I do like your idea of a test run. I do like that. Yeah. I'm not opposed, to send in, 5 or 6 cards, to see how the slabs are, how the consistency is, all that stuff. But I do wish AGS was a little bit cheaper. But those are ones I would go to. I know a lot of people like CGC. I don't like CGC. I don't know. I just don't. I feel like they stepped up when there was a big gap and they just said, send us all your cards, and everybody sent them their cards. We'll see. we'll see. Let us know in the comment section, guys. What of these new grading companies are you excited for? Which ones do you think are going to be sticking around? Which ones do you think are going to be dead in the water in 6 months to a year, maybe even 2-3 years, whatever. So let us know down there, guys. We love chatting with you guys. We reply to everybody as quickly as possible. We love talking to you guys here in the YouTube comment section. And if you're on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, please give us a 5-star review. It really, really helps. Give us a follow. And watch us, listen to us on all of our, audio outlets, just because you love us. You love our voices so much. But yeah, guys,
nice voices.
I know I can really get in deep and, that was weird. I'm not going to say that. But, just to finish off here, I would say, one of my favorite content creators for Pokemon and other TCG grading is Omash. So go check out Omash. He does tons of PSA reveals, CGC reveals, Beckett reveals, all kinds of stuff, and he really knows what he's talking about. He's a PSA middleman. He's a grading card company middleman. So if you want get your cards graded, he is 100% trusted. He's one of the nicest guys in the entire Pokemon community, TCG community. He does everything from Weiss Schwartz to Dragon Ball to Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, everything. So go check out his channel if you want more graded card info and graded card content. 100% support him all day long. That being said, make sure you guys drop a sub. Thank you for hanging out with us today. You got to send this out, ASX. Say one last thing.
Make sure you guys check out our hashtag Snorlax Fit Challenge as well. This thing is getting serious. I just saw a video of, Funhouse over here, trying to lift some weights or something, trying to lose some weight. But
I think those were weights. I wasn't sure. When I got there, I said, guys, are these weights? And they were like, sure. I was like, all right, let me pick them up.
Sure. They looked all right, you looked like you were breaking a little bit of a sweat, but
I was leaking.
Yeah, definitely, check out our channels, check out our socials for the hashtag SnorlaxFit. Doing a Biggest Loser challenge here with a giveaway tied to it for you guys.
Yep.
With some Brilliant Stars ETBs. So definitely go check out our channels, check out our socials, and show some love and support. We need it. We need it to lose those pounds, you guys.
Join the Discord server, guys. If you guys want some support, if you want some support building better habits in 2022, maybe losing some weight, just getting more fit, even if you don't need to lose weight, you want to gain some muscle, you want to just do anything, right? Some better habits, healthier lifestyle, drink more water, less monsters. Come hang out with us down in the Discord server. It's a link in description as well. Go see us on our socials. Email us. I don't care. We're here to support you guys, and any support you guys give us is 100% welcomed. That being said, have a wonderful night.